These weekend masses conclude my diaconate assignment at St. Bernadette Parish. So this is my last 9:45 Mass as your assigned deacon. It's been a privilege and a blessing to serve as your deacon. I thank my wife Barbara for sharing me with the parish and supporting my ministry in so many ways. I thank Father Phil for his patience, kindness, prayers, and openness to my ministry. I thank Father Joe and all the priests I've been privileged to know, serve with, and call brothers. I thank the parish staff for their forbearance, assistance, and support. And I thank you, the people of God, for our shared faith journey together. For without the people of God to serve, a deacon has no ministry, no purpose. I'm fortunate to be retiring during this time of ordinations. We recently had ordination of transitional deacons, followed by ordination of permanent deacons, followed yesterday by ordination to the sacred priesthood. It's been a time to think back and reflect on my own ordination. There's a point in the ordination rite where men prostrate themselves in front of the altar, laying down their lives for Christ. It's a bit like stepping off a cliff and not knowing what lies ahead, but trusting in the Lord. I remember during my formation, after my first year of aspirancy, and before the next 4 years of candidacy, we were required to take a psychological test to see if we were suited for this ministry. And I remember that the psychologist, he was a secular psychologist that was conducting this test. And I was one of the first men that he was interviewing and examining. So I had to explain to him the process of formation, ordination, and diaconal ministry. So after I had done that, he said, okay, let me see if I understand this. He said, now you're committing to a multi-year course of study, but you have no assurance that you're even going to be ordained. And I said, yes. He said, okay, well, and if you are ordained, then you have no choice in where the bishop is going to assign you. And I said, yes. He said, okay, all right. And so on top of all of that, for all of the work that you're going to do, you're going to receive no pay. And I said, yes. And he looked at me dumbfounded and said, you're crazy. There's a point in the ordination rite where the bishop hands the book of Gospels to the newly ordained deacon and gives him 3 admonitions. The first admonition is, believe what you read. My belief has been strengthened by seeing the gospel come alive through your faith in tribulations, hope amidst sorrows, peace in the sacraments, and joy in the knowledge of Christ's love. The second admonition is, teach what you believe. I've endeavored to pass on that knowledge of Christ's love in my preaching and in both formal and informal modes of instruction in the faith. And that third admonition is, practice what you teach. I've tried to be a reflection of Christ's love in all aspects of my service to this faith community. And then there's a point in the ordination rite. After the men have been ordained, they've been invested with their dalmatic, it's the kiss of peace. This is where all the other old deacons who attended the ceremony come by one at a time and embrace each new deacon. And this was the most profound, moving moment for me in the ordination. I was keenly aware that I was becoming the newest member of an ancient brotherhood, a long line of deacons reaching all the way back to St. Stephen. Tomorrow, Deacons Joseph and Jeff will now come to you as the newest members of this sacred tradition of men, serving the people of God in persona Christi serve, in the person of Christ the servant. Now I know in my heart, my time here at St. Bernadette is not about what I accomplished. It's about the good works God has been doing in your hearts. I bid you farewell in the peace and love and sure hope we share in Jesus Christ, and in the certain knowledge that together we remain always connected, brothers and sisters, in the one body of Christ. May God bless you.
Now, to the best of my knowledge, Deacon Mark is not going to die soon. So that means he's still a parishioner at St. Bernadette's, and yes, he will still function liturgically as a deacon, and he might choose to do whatever he wants. But his assignment here has come to an end. But we look forward to both he and Barbara continuing to be a part of our community. It's once you're ordained, you're ordained. You might put aside duties, but the spirituality and who you are always remains the same.